Hi, this is basically everything I learned in AP World History Modern about the cultural and environmental consequences of connectivity. Cultural consequences. Consequences aren't just negative in world history, they may also be positive effects. Diffusion was the spread of culture and ideas, like how Islam diffused via trade, and how Muslims learned how to make paper during a war by capturing Chinese papermakers. Travelers such as Zhang He also helped to facilitate the diffusion. A city is just an area where lots of people live. They grew to new technologies being invented and more trade occurring in those areas. They declined to invasion and wars, specifically Mongols in this time period, the plague, and also economic and population decline. During this time period, more people traveled because new technologies that have been invented helped make traveling easier and safer. Also, the books of certain famous explorers helped to inspire more people to try and do it themselves. Marco Polo. Marco Polo was from a merchant family in Venice. They went directly to Yuan, China in order to get trade materials for cheaper prices. They met with Kublai Khan, who ordered Marco to stay because he liked his stories. When they were finally able to go back to Italy, they got imprisoned by one of their war enemies. One of Marco's cellmates heard and published his stories in a book. A lot of people read that book, inspiring them to travel. It was called The Travels of Marco Polo. Ibn Battuta. Ibn Battuta was an Arab Muslim Qadi, which was a judge of Islamic law. They were from Morocco, but took the Hajj. However, they decided to continue traveling past Mecca. They went to Southeast Asia, the Delhi Sultanate, China, and Mali. They do not approve of Mali because the women there were dressed immodestly, and they also had friend guys. They also had a book written about their adventures, which gave information to modern-day historians and also inspired others to trade. Marjorie Kemp. Marjorie Kemp was a devout Christian from England. They took the pilgrimage to the Holy Land and also to Spain on the Santiago/St. James Trail. Their priest friend wrote down her adventures, which inspired others to travel also. Environmental consequences. The environmental consequences are just a diffusion of crops and pathogens. Crops. The three crops that diffused were bananas from Africa to Southeast Asia, rice varieties aka champa rice, which was from Vietnam to China when the Tang Dynasty ruled them, and citrus from Southeast Asia to India to the Abbasid Caliphate. Pathogens. Pathogen is just a thing that causes disease. For example, the plague. The plague started in China and was spread by trade and the Mongols whom they kept conquering places. An epidemic is what the plague was. It is a large disease that was never seen before. An endemic is what the plague became. It has been there for a long time and has started to become not so bad. For example, influenza.